This is a good one. This is Alan on holiday. Alan said, have you heard him saying that he takes photographs of people without their consent? He did that recently, didn't he? He said that recently. Where's that one? God, there's so many, aren't there? There's so many. But Alan's saying he photographs people without their consent, and now I've got an image that's evidence of him photographing people without their consent. Is it this one?
Chris Watts said no case to answer.
Oh, no.
D.A. Rourke said himself, I have no evidence.
Not that one. Which one is it? Where's it gone? This one.
In the shop. He could have done when he was at a distance from. I've done it many times. Looked at my phone, but really I'm taking a picture of someone, right? He could have done that easily. He didn't. He got in his car and then filmed them. He sort of pretended, he said like, oh, I thought I'd seen her before somewhere. I sort of recognised her in the shop. He could have done when he was at a distance from. I've done it many times. Looked at my phone, but really I'm taking a picture of someone.
Doing what?
He could have done when he was at a distance from. I've done it many times. Looked at my phone, but really I'm taking a picture of someone, right?
Looked at your phone, but really when you're taking a picture of someone. Oh, that sounds creepy and sort of illegal. And then what's this? This is Alan looking at his phone whilst really he's taking a picture of someone. And who's the woman in the back? Obviously someone's photoshopped it up to put what's that smell, but I don't know who the woman in the back is, but he's took a picture of her. Is this in Malta? Is this where he goes in Malta? Taking pictures of people on the beach? You know, maybe I'll get that printed as a flyer and go handing it out on the beach. Have you seen this man? Instead of what's this smell, I'll say, have you seen this man? Takes photographs of ladies in public without their consent. We'll go around and have a look for the, you know. It's a good one, isn't it? What was I going to show you? What was I supposed to, was it something else I was supposed to be showing you? It's not illegal to do, no. It's not illegal, but depending on the content of the pictures and the amount of them and the nature of them, it might cross other laws. Like, it's voyeurism. That is, it is illegal to, like, voyeurism. Voyeurism as a crime, UK. Voyeurism is a criminal offence in the UK. So, gaining sexual pleasure through watching or recording someone in a private act. That's what voyeurism is. So you'd have to argue that he's gaining sexual pleasure from it. And I think women on the beach with their tops off, it's a sexual offence. Observing someone in a private... Okay, private. They're not private, they're in public, aren't they? So, I suppose you can't... A private act is what a reasonable person would only do in privacy, so it's not quite voyeurism. It's not. Unless, well, this is the other thing, upskirting, look. Recording or operating equipment underneath the clothing of someone else, aimed at their genitals or underwear. There is no consent given. So consent does matter in this. Consent does matter a little bit. If there's no consent given, or if the aim is that of sexual pleasure or gratification. So actually, it is a crime. Look. Like, to be honest, that picture that we've got of him that Grumpy Granny found or whatever, no, Grumpy Granny put it on YouTube. That picture of him with that woman there, yeah, he's on the very borderline of this. I mean, he might get away with it in Malta. Maybe the rules are different in Malta. But introduced in 2019, the Voyeurism Offence Act covers other matters that are voyeuristic in nature. A voyeuristic offence must meet the following criteria. Operating equipment underneath the clothing of someone else. So that's looking up their skirt. Maybe he's not doing that. Is specifically aimed at their genitals or underwear. Well, these people are in small clothes. There is no consent given. We've got that, and the aim is that of sexual pleasure or gratification. That's to tackle upskirting. So he's so close to this. What other offences overlap the offence? Possession of indecent images involving a person under the age of 18. He'd better be careful he's not taking these photos of anyone that's not 18, because now we're in trouble. Blackmail or revenge porn. He needs help. Maximum prison sentence of 2 years. Interesting stuff.
People are dying. People are dying on YouTube with this hate. People have died because of this hate. Only last week I couldn't do hardly any shows because I just didn't feel like it. It's too much like, why are they doing it?
Big up.
Did an interview with Eamon.
Big up Eamon Holmes. Big up.
Right. So we've talked about some stuff. Do you want to see Alan's TikTok? Has he done any more? He's done those. Yeah. Okay. So he's done these ones like on after as like damage limitation. He hasn't done any more this weekend though, has he? These are the last 3, and then he's fucked off.
Get to this situation. Where
This one's 8 minutes long. Actually, we should watch these. Actually, wait. I'll tell you what. We should watch these because these were made immediately after the disaster stream, weren't they? These were made immediately after the disaster stream. Why do I call my show a Genshin Impact show? I'm not a Genshin Impact stream right now. There's 40 of you, and I'm not a Genshin Impact stream. So I'm going to change my stream title just quickly. Edit stream info. Turn off Genshin Impact. Search for category Just Chatting. Just Chatting. And it says, and now we Genshin as well. What should I call this? Bad Man TikTok Pred. Bad Man TikTok Pred. That's my stream name. Okay. I'm not a bad man TikTok Pred. Alan is. Right, so we should watch these, shouldn't we? Because these are made after he had that like awful stream. So then I assume he went on damage limitation mode and made 3 TikToks. I can't believe I didn't think this. I can't believe I didn't see this. Because I always ignore the TikToks thinking they're just churned out garbage. Like I also think maybe half of these were made before he realised what was going on. Like, you know, he jumped on stream, didn't he, 2 hours late to the party. So maybe he was busy doing some of this anyway. Although I do imagine he sleeps in the daytime. Like wakes up about 3 or 4 o'clock. This time, for whatever reason, he wasn't, you know, alert and on the ball enough to get on the stream when this news came in. He's got all those spanners. They would definitely contact him. So why wouldn't he be up and on the stream when this, like, the minute this news happened, Dover and Dolly's mum contacted me. I saw it on the news. Like, most people in the UK saw this news within 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour of it breaking. Alan was there like 3 hours late to his stream, and he's been talking about it for weeks. So they call him the drunk detective. It's sad that they even know who he is. Like, and it's sad that he's on TikTok using it, looking at kids behind the scenes and stuff. You don't know whose streams he wanders into and who he shakes his, you know, attitude around at. I've got 1 million views, I'm so big. Like, you know, trying to impress the kids on TikTok. So it's interesting to me, like I said, that Alan is in disaster mode, and he was like, he looked drunk on that stream, or I think what he was drunk from the night before, or still trammied up from the night before, or whatever it is. I think he probably went hard the night before, slept all day, woke up in a like drunk confusion. Oh shit, she's fucking, oh no, I've got to run the stream. No, he's quickly washed his face and got on. And I don't think he was, or maybe he'd been drinking that afternoon and he hadn't let it like wear off before the stream or something, but like he did seem like he was in a bit of a mess, didn't he? And then he's had the emotional roller coaster of everyone knowing what an arsehole he is and knowing himself what he is. So now he's made these. So that's interesting, actually, to me, the way he's going to come across in them. This one's had 70,000 views, and this one's had 7,000. So something's weird.
Get to this situation.
And he starts this with "get to this situation."
Get to this situation.
You're going to have the sound turned up for you, aren't you? How can he make such quiet TikToks?
Get to this situation.
Can you hear them all right?
Where Catherine Prince.
Big ups,
Lots of
Tippies.
fun sent tippies. Thanks for keeping me entertained while working. Be great for you to have a holiday. We all need a break to refresh. To help with the holiday fund. Super Chuffer owes 5 hugs.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, if I'm honest about it, I would rather go somewhere where I didn't have to fuck about with Alan's nonsense, wouldn't I, for a nice relaxing holiday. So, also, I'd really rather take Steve with me and do some actual work. I know this sounds stupid if you're going on holiday, but it's actually fun for me to go and record things and make content. So I'd really like to be able to say that we got something out of it like that. If I don't end up going to Malta, I'll take that money and still put it into the fund. Because at the moment the balance is tipped in favour of Malta, I'll tell you that for sure. But there's no guarantees with a week to go, is there? I wonder. I mean, I'm not going to say I hope Alan's watching because he's not to watch my stuff, is he? But you know, I wonder what he thinks. If he really wants to get ahead of this, he's going to have to tell everyone that he's going to Malta. Otherwise, he will stalk me when I arrive there first, and I'll have to tell the police I came here for a nice holiday, and this man that harasses me in the UK has come here, and he knows I'm here because I put it on the internet. So,
Mr. Wells is forced to tell us all the
he's
private
slurring his words.
information. Well, I can tell you, it was this fake Mother's Day Happy Days picture, and the contrast.
So he's made this to blame this. It's not my fault. What Alan's saying is it's not his fault. Like, it's true. It doesn't matter what this picture was. Like, this picture could have been fake as you like. She could have had like a green face, and the kids could have all been upside down, yeah, and like obvious Photoshop. And then that doesn't mean that you should go on a rampage of conspiracy nonsense, grift hard. Actually, Alan was a week late to this party as well. Alan was a week late to the story, and he got all his stuff from all the people that were on the grift early, and like all this conflagration of nonsense. Like I said before, I think we live in an age now where there are people that are so desperate to jump on anything as a big conspiracy nut farm that they can't see the wood for the trees. And something like someone going to hospital and having a procedure might have raised alarm bells for like grown-ups that maybe she needed a bit of space and time because could have been going through something. And Alan didn't have any concept of any of that. Doesn't care about the kids, doesn't care about her. All he cared about really was getting a load of views on TikTok, trying to ride a trend wave. And it totally backfired on him, didn't it? Totally backfired. So you could have still thought this was fake, but gone about this in a totally different way. So it's not fair to say this picture was fake, therefore what I did was correct. Because what Alan did was not correct. And he deleted, what did he have? He had 17 videos and he's down to 8. So he deleted 9 videos, like more than half of his cake content he had to delete and hide. I mean, come on.
Between that and reality couldn't be much more. The picture on the right is yesterday's reality. There's no comparison, is there, between the truth and not the truth. And that's what sparked all around the world the disbelief in everything coming out of Kensington.
No, that doesn't even make sense, right? Because what you're saying is today's the reality. This is what she really looks like today. But that's not what she looks like today. So that's what sparked the controversy. It's not, because that's what she looks like quite normally. And today she looks more poorly and a little bit different. So it would have sparked more controversy if they'd put this picture out, because people have said, what's happened to Kate? She looks different. She looks a bit poorly. So instead they used a picture where she looked like her normal self. And they didn't say it's fake because she doesn't look like herself. They managed to line it up with Photoshop anomalies and this and that. Like, Alan's confused himself there from the start.
All around the world, the disbelief in everything coming out of Kensington.
Armchair Detective here, bringing you a special report. And I was getting texts.
Look at this, bringing you a special report. Look at how it's okay. So what he's done is he's taken his TikTok video, which is in landscape, and he's put it into a portrait editor. Sorry, he's taken his picture from TikTok, which is in portrait, upright, and he's put it into a sideways landscape editor. So it's put black bars on the side and cut off the top and bottom. And then he's taken that and put it into TikTok. So it's put black bars on the top and bottom, and now it's got black bars on the side and the top and bottom, and it's made it tiny in the middle. Like, this is the worst kind of media production I've ever seen. People on TikTok expect a full screen video, and you're coming with a black screen and a tiny little part of it in the middle with your talking.
And emails, turn on BBC, turn on BBC. Breaking news.
This is what happened. We didn't catch the start of his TikTok live, but he's managed to cut some of it for us so he can look even more stupid. He's got in emails, turn on the BBC, turn on the BBC. They woke him up, didn't they?
About our Catherine, Princess of Wales. You
Oh,
where do
Catherine.
we start with this? It's a sad day, and I'm feeling sick, and
I mean, I got another question. What if he was doing something else? Because this jacket's weird, isn't it? Has he got a t-shirt on under there? Or was he busy doing something else when this came in and he had to suddenly abandon his session and start doing this instead?
all this, you know, we lost the Queen. Our King's got cancer. And now this. My question to the world was, what's going on? It's not been seen since Christmas. Something is very wrong. For me, it got dark. And, I'll tell you what was the thing for me. When William didn't go to King Constantine of Greece's service in London? Now, that's his dad's best friend, cousin, and also his godfather. He said he couldn't go for personal reasons. He would have to go. He didn't go. Subterfuge by the palace of trying to protect us and trying to protect her family.
Subterfuge.
And it's all gone into a mess and turned out terrible.
Well, it's a mess for you.
I should say it's better to tell the truth than lie. Sometimes it's better to tell a white lie than tell the truth. It's very difficult.
They didn't tell any lies. Alan tells a lot of lies. They didn't tell any lies. Did they? They didn't tell lies. They said that she had gone in for a minor procedure. They said, like, they presented a photoshopped image, yes, but they didn't say this is an image that Kate took of us and the kids, especially today. They said William had taken the image. She did come out immediately and say, yes, there's some photoshopping. They tried to just sort of, you know, not say stuff carefully, and then everyone dug into it, didn't they? But, you know, with insensitivity and in a rash way, without thinking, made themselves look stupid.
The palace over the edge.
Big ups JJ Kane. We're going to play Genshin Impact in a bit, but these chuffers have... It's Sunday, and it's 7, 8 o'clock at night, and these chuffers have got me watching Alan's TikToks. But, to be fair, it is a good idea to watch them, because they are made immediately after the debacle. And I don't know what he's doing this weekend, but what we've been doing this weekend is we've been having a look at some of these Airbnb properties in Malta, and there are a few of them. You can get an entire penthouse by the sea, 5 beds. I'll check out this one. This is my favourite one that I'm going to show you. This one, you'll see why this one's my favourite, look. Right, you'll see why this one's my favourite. Wait, what am I doing? Turning off the chat. Turn off the Firefox. Whoa! Look at this. Whoa! 5 rooms in this one. 5 rooms. 5 saucy rooms. And I can get all that for $1,500 for 2 weeks in Malta. So I'm thinking of inviting the Mimps. Look at that. Mimps in Malta. They'll have to pay for their own flights. Each Mimp can have a room. We're streaming from Malta. I need to talk to them and find out if they can, if I can stream from there, if I've got the, you know, if it's good internet. Is this the one where I'm going? This might not be the one where I'm going, but there are lots of options. And one of the choices is on the table at the moment. We've only got a week to sort it out, but one of the options on the table at the moment is to say, I'm paying for an Airbnb. There are 3 spare rooms, 4 spare rooms. Does anyone want to go? You'll have to pay for your own food and flights. The flights will be on these dates. This is the flight I'm going to take. You know, I'll tell you that so you can book your flight and get on it. But otherwise, like, you know, bed and breakfast, so to speak, because I can put a load of toast in the, you know, I can put a load of bread and cereal in the kitchen. Bed and breakfast is free in Malta for any mimps that want to go on holiday. That's not a guarantee right now. That's an option. The other option that I'm trying to brew up is me and like another guest, hopefully Steve, go to one of these places. And I don't just want to go to the poker competition, obviously. That would be a waste of my time. But I do want to go around some of the other places in Malta and do some stuff. That might be fun. So a week, 2 weeks in Malta. We'll arrive before Alan. If he's going to the poker competition, which obviously he told his people he can't do that anymore. Can he? He said he can't even do his hobby anymore. He can't afford it. So I'm not expecting him to go. So I'm expecting that I arrive there first. And if I'm going to tell the police. There's this man in the UK that's been harassing me. And the UK police know all about it. Here's a video of him making death threats against me. I've come to Malta for a holiday and I've put it on the internet and I've come here. And if he arrives on the aeroplane, I want you at the police. I want him, the harassing man, taken away. He's followed me to Malta. Because I'll be there first.
TMZ.
You'll go to Malta. We need to have some sort of application system, and we discussed it yesterday late at night. I think the system is going to be sort of like a sliding scale, and you have to sort of sit yourself on the sliding scale where you think you sit between 0 and Kessinger. And at one end of the scale is Nicole Kessinger brown bikini, and at the other end of the scale is not Nicole Kessinger. And if your rank on the scale is the tipping point to getting into the Malta trip. Like, I'll be honest about it. I was saying it earlier. I don't really want to have like a house full of nutters and try and have 2 weeks fun on my own with a house full of nutters. I'd rather have a smaller group where I can have a bit of space, do the content. You know, we can have some fun. But we'll see somewhere between that. I've got to get my head around it, and I've got to actually. Tomorrow, I'm taking a serious look into it, trying to like. I've offered Steve, obviously, but I'm unlikely to get him to. I think at short notice like this with his back not quite healed, I don't think he's going to want to do it. But I've offered Steve. So, and then the other thing is, if we go to the poker tournament, like if it all kicks off and Alan's, I don't think his mates are going to get involved. I don't think he has any. But if his son tries to give me a punch on the nose, then there might be a sudden bar brawl, and I'll need people to be like security, and I'll also need people to bail me out of Malta prison. But what a holiday we'll have! Mainly, we'll be going around Malta trying to make like some interesting content that's not based on Alan, and then for a few days we'll go up the poker, won't we? We'll probably go up for the first opening day, the opening party. I mean, I don't want to ruin the holiday on day one, do I, and get arrested on day one or anything, but we'll probably go up for the opening party, you know, sign up and play a few hands. I don't want to spend £100 to just sit there around the table and waste my money either, but do that, and then we can go for the, like, mainly it'll be like beaches and going around and having dinners, and you know, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? House full of nutters. Yeah, house full of nutters, Beth. Yeah. Yeah.
Bought the video footage of the
house full of cretins.
farm visit. It was back to, like I said,
He's got the weird filter on making his eyes look creepy.
Happened, and he couldn't go to this funeral.
Or do his eyes just look creepy?
And that was then down to, he's having an affair or Kate is very ill. He's having an affair or Kate is very ill. That's all I was left with. And I'm thinking, we haven't heard a thing.
He's edited this to make himself look good, and this is not what he looked like.
Since before Christmas.
We've watched the original, you divvy.
We get this shocking Mother's Day card, right? This was a mistake.
I shouldn't go to jail for having a nice holiday on fucking Malta, should I? And if I do inform the police, like I said, that this man has got a flag with the English police and he's already been harassing me and he's known for it, like, I want to make a video called Alan Vinnicombe's a Danger to Children, premiere it, book out the function room at the casino and premiere it.
Right, whoever had the idea to do the Mother's Day card made a massive mistake.
It's their fault. It's not Alan's
After
fault.
they did that, nothing will put it right, because speculation will grow and grow and grow. So it wasn't a real picture. The Mother's Day wasn't a real picture, guys. It was there to make you believe that she was fine, and she's not. And if she's not, and they don't tell us, the next time she appears after the fake Mother's Day card, the world's going to think everything's fake. And with the greatest respect in the world, I reported that is the farm, is it real? After the Mother's Day card, is it real? And I asked,
With the greatest respect in the world, I reported that is it real? No, you didn't. You said it wasn't real, and then you said it was definitely real, and then you said it definitely wasn't real, and then you had an AI image, and then you had a this, and then you had that. You are a fucking nutter.
I asked you to vote on it, and most of you said it wasn't. There's no point going on about that video again, because even if it's not her,
there's no point going on about that video again, i.e. we're not holding Alan to account for any of the things he's done in the past now. There's no point going on about it. It's done.
the poor woman has got cancer, and I am not going to add to this. I refuse to add to it.
This is not post apology. This was the rant that led up to the first apology. He said the TikTok apology right at the end as like a little yeah, and I'm sorry if I did anything wrong, and then like signed off. This is edited from the rant that led up to the apology. So this isn't actually Alan speaking after the debacle. That, you know, this is what happened on TikTok. Like the TikTok live happened, because it's happened and it's gone. He edited this so that they could see what he said on the TikTok live.
But I'm not prepared to speculate on it anymore. Then I won't be talking about Kate's things real or not real. I'm telling you tonight why it happened. Because of Mother's Day. You really worry about AI.
He's made himself an edit to make himself like, it's like, that was like Regardation Police.
The farm, is it real? After the Mother's Day.
He looked like a nutter. I'm telling you why it happened. Like, why this fucking last 4 days of shit happened, yeah? Like, I'm telling you why it happened, and it's because of Mother's Day. And like, he edited it like Regardation Police.
Is it real? And I asked you.
He's so eggy.
You to vote on it.
It's your fault. You voted.
And most of you said it wasn't. There's no point going on about that video again. Because even if it's not her, the poor woman has got cancer, and I am not going to add to this. I refuse to add to it. But I'm not prepared to speculate on it anymore. Then I won't be talking about Kate's things real or not real. I'm telling you tonight why it happened. Because of Mother's Day. You really worry about AI.
That was so creepy when he did that, the Mother's Day thing. What's this now?
Because they can do anything now. I've seen celebrities doing stuff they didn't do.
You've watched deepfake porn, have you, Alan?
I didn't say the video was fake. I said, is it fake? In fact, I did one video saying it is Kate.
You did say it was fake, and then you took down the videos where you said it was fake afterwards to make it look like you didn't.
I got so inundated that it wasn't that I had to go and take another look. And then I say, yeah, right, well, where's the mole? And things like that. I didn't know. I was asking you. A quick word here about Paul Burrow. He got absolutely chastised.
I didn't know. I was asking you. And he just, like, he was getting it in chat, wasn't he? He was getting it in chat.
Is it fake? In fact, I did one video.
I fucking love the way, this is pure narcissism. Darkseidfield does it all the time. I love the way he's turned it all on the chat. It was your fault. You said it wasn't fake. I followed you. And these might be different people in chat or all sorts. You don't know. All right, but it's your fault because you voted and then I had to do the video. It's not my fault at all. I don't have any agency in this.
It is Kate. I got so inundated that it wasn't that I had to go and take another look. And then I say, yeah, right, well, where's the mole? And things like that. I didn't know. I was asking you. A quick word here about Paul Burrow. He got absolutely chastised for saying that she's in Norfolk, convalescing. She might well have been.
She might not have been.
He's the nearest one to come to the truth, isn't he? He's the nearest
Why?
The nearest come to truth was that. The medical records could have been the
She
key.
might have been
I
a
mean,
Norfolk.
someone got those records and it was forced out into the open. She disclosed the cancer was discovered while she underwent abdominal surgery in London Clinic at the start of the year, right? So that was true. She said that she needed to recover from the surgery before she could start preventive chemotherapy. She was advised to have chemotherapy by her doctors. Already have Charles and the future Queen.
This is the bit where he reads the news. He's done as a sort of Alan's highlights of his TikTok stream. It's kind of interesting to see what he's chosen as the highlights as well, because we watched it and it was all shit. Disaster all the way. Like, this is disaster. And he's had to pick through the disaster and thinks this is worth highlighting and editing together. Like, you would probably want to hide all of this.
Fighting cancer at the same time. Do you understand what this is to the royal family? Our
This is
future
funny.
Queen and the guy that's going to probably have to give up being king, Charles is going to more than likely have to not be king for much longer. William is going to be king. His wife has got cancer. My word.
The word there was abdicate. Alan didn't say it, but I don't think King Charles will abdicate. I mean, the damn Queen didn't, did she?
She wore a blue and white striped jumper with blue trousers and was sitting on a garden bench. Kate said she needed time to come to terms with the news and tell her children.
We got that little glance to camera as well in that one when he said on the bench and he was looking at this thing like in panic and he did the little glance to camera. Are you watching? Are you checking? Are you keeping like get the little
William is
glance?
going to be king. His wife has got cancer. My word. She wore a blue and white striped jumper with blue trousers and was sitting on a garden bench. Kate said she needed time to come to terms with the news and tell her children before informing the rest of the world, right? She said it had been an incredible tough couple of months, our entire family. But I had a fantastic medical team who take great care of me, to which I'm grateful. I'm just looking at a picture of her now and it's bringing me to tears. It's no wonder we didn't recognise her, guys, and no wonder so many of you...
Is the picture bringing him to tears, or is it the fucking fact that he's just making he knows that his TikTok thing is turned into a huge disaster? Because a narcissist only cries for himself.
Thought it wasn't her. To be honest, she's changed beyond all recognition.
She's big ups me and Green. She's changed beyond all recognition. Changed beyond all recognition.
But Charles is going to more than likely have to not be king for much longer. William is going to be king. His wife has got cancer. My word. She wore a blue and white striped jumper with blue trousers and was sitting on a garden bench.
Do you know what's funny as well? Is that he says to the spanners behind the scenes he's so upset and he's going to grift this behind the scenes that he's just traumatized by her death. Sorry, not her death. But he's going to say he's traumatized, he's upset, and the only thing that can help him out of this is money. And it's convenient in a way, isn't it? Because it's Malta coming up. That this is crashed and burned. TikTok is not going to provide new people into Patreon. He's not going to provide a grift. Like, he was thinking he might get 1-2 of these idiots from TikTok to get over to his Patreon, and he'd get them on and he'd ask them for $100, $200. He's thinking this might turn into something for him. It's gone down the toilet. So now he's thinking the other angle is the regular grift. I'm so upset, give me money. It worked quite well recently twice, didn't it? When he got kicked off YouTube, and there was another recent one where he was so upset he needed money, wasn't it? He did it with Bin Bin's death. Like, so upset he needed money. So that's what he's angling behind the scenes here when he says he's upset and moved to tears. He doesn't cry at all. He's not moved to tears in any way.
Kate said she needed time to come to terms with the news and tell her children before informing the rest of the world, right? She said it had been an incredible tough couple of months, our entire family. But I had a fantastic medical team who take great care of me, to which I'm grateful. I'm just looking at a picture of her now and it's bringing me to tears. It's no wonder we didn't recognise her, guys, and no wonder so many of you thought it wasn't her.
So many of you.
To be honest, she's changed beyond all recognition.
You?
Under chemo. So I think all speculation stops here. Definitely from my channel. I won't be speculating about anything about their private life.
Well, there's nothing to speculate on, is there now? You speculated on it all already. The only thing to speculate on would be whether that's further fake picture, you know, to speculate on the picture, the video further and to keep speculating. But, hello? You're not going to do that because it makes you look awful. You've decided that you know this is like landed badly, so you've decided it makes you look awful. But what he should have done really is gone full whole hog. This video is fake too. I don't believe any of it. You can't like the conspiracy people will see you as like some sort of nutty shill batting for both sides. Like you can't say it's all a conspiracy, and then when this thing comes out, no, I believe this video. Oh, this video, right? I believe this video. I won't be speculating. Oh, until his next TikTok, right? Well, we've got 2 more TikToks after this. Yeah. Well, of course he's an idiot liar, and he's going to continue to do all sorts of nonsense, isn't he?
This is all about Kate now, trying to recover and giving her family space.
And that's what people in the comments had been saying to him, is why haven't you given the family space? Why aren't you, you know, and all this? And now he's just parrot fashioned the comments back to them so that it's like me just reading a comment and saying, this is what I think. So that, for example, Dover and Dolly's mum there said this, but like not to say her name, because he wouldn't say the name of the person that made the comment. He'd say, now gang stalking makes him have to hide at poker tournaments. And I say that as if it's my idea and I said it. And you think, oh, Alan said the same thing as me. He agrees with me. Like, it's not that, Alan. You're transparent in front of these people on TikTok. They knew what you said. They knew what you did. And they came on there to tell you off. And you then tried to jump on their bandwagon. Oh, no, I didn't. I'm not. Oh, I'm on your side.
I just wish they said it a month ago.
It's their fault.
She's only 42, guys. She thought it was non-cancerous. The surgery was a total success. Tests after the operation found cancer cells have been present.
And now, again, for his content, not only on the live, but also now on an edited TikTok, it's him just reading off the news. This is the first time he'd read this. Look, you can see it in his face. This is the first time this information has gone into him. Everyone else that was talking about it at the time, you know, everyone else that was watching this TikTok live actually already knew this stuff. Alan woke up a bit late to the story. I don't know what he was doing. He looks like he isn't even wearing a t-shirt under that. Like, might be naked under that with a jacket on. I don't know what he was doing, but, you know, late to it. They all had to email and message him, Alan, get on this, get off that and get on this. And he doesn't know anything. Like, flapping in the wind.
My medical team advised me I should undergo a course of preventive chemotherapy just in case. It's preventive. It's not like cure, it's prevented. Praising her husband is a great source of comfort. I mean, look at what he's been doing lately. Going around schools, doing artwork with little kids and that. And you wouldn't know a thing. He is so professional that he's going to make a great king. He has carried on his royal duties around this country, travelling thousands of miles a week to go to silly places and talk to sometimes silly people. But he's done it with no thought to himself or his wife. He's done it a duty because the king has got cancer as well. And he's been smiling. What's beyond the smiles? The first days to school holidays to shield them from the coverage of the mother's health. So it's been coming for some days. Her disappearance from public prompted wild rumours about her health, which were compounded when she released the picture of Mother's Day. The image was pulled by sick picture agencies. When it transpired, it had been digitally altered. Kate had to apologise for editing the picture to a picture of her when she was in full health. Was spotted at a farm shop in Windsor, which prompted outlandish speculation.
He's editing.
I will leave her in the privacy she deserves. Time, space, and privacy until she wants.
So
us to
here's a
speak
question
about
to
it
me,
again.
because there I just spotted him going like that with his, you know, like that, yeah. Like when he's editing himself, doesn't he see himself? Has somebody else edited this for him? Because when he's editing himself, doesn't he see himself? I wonder if Melissa Marvelous is editing for him. You know, I wonder if someone else is doing this. Because they have to leave it in because it's how it is. But I would have cut that out based on the principle of him doing that funny face licking stuff. I don't care what he's saying. Yeah, he said this though, and that's something that we want to keep in. Yeah, but have you seen what he looks like? No.
What have we learned? Well, not to speculate, but we're human beings. Human beings has been speculating since the beginning of the time when they invented the wheel and fire.
We have been speculating since fire and the wheel, and those two things were invented at the beginning of time. At the same time, at the beginning of time. Alan's grasp on history is very tenuous.
Do is just take notes
Tenuous at best.
and wish Princess Catherine of Wales speedy recovery back to normal life, our future queen. Get to this situation.
Speedy recovery back to life. She's not dead. Fucking hell. This is the big one next that's had 68,000 views apparently.
Last night when we were shown...
Okay, 68,000 views and 200 comments. To be honest, people are commenting on this, like, you know, people on TikTok are naive and they don't look into who's posting this shit. So they just sort of make a comment. So it's possible. This person's put, I now hate TikTok, stop making money off Kate. There's a lot of people talking about... I'm not showing these comments because... I mean, I'm just looking at them. There's a lot of them that are fucking full conspiracy nutters talking about all sorts of horrible shit. Weird shit. Weird shit, weird shit, weird shit. There's one response. Julie said, this needs to stop now. All this stop, adding more fuel to the fire. Does it really matter, to be fair? And Alan's replied, Armchair Detective, I will show you this one. Over to my on the right of the screen there. Alan's replied, if you all stop watching, that would really help. Alan's replied, if you all stop watching, that would really help. This annoys me. I'll take this one quickly in this video because we're talking now, but I want to make a debunk video. Actually, I do kind of want to make a debunk video of all this nonsense because she sat in the garden, no grass, no tree branch, no hair moved in the London March breeze. Of course, because it's a large walled garden. It's not like a big open space in the middle of a field, right? Number two, they've probably got they've lit it. You can tell they've got big softbox lights casting a yellow sort of light onto her to emulate the sort of natural light of the sun. Like they've lit it, so they've probably got a few bounce boards that you can't see. Like there's reasons why there might be not a heavy breeze on her. Also, her hair's going to be heavily. I noticed round her eye. I think they were hiding something. She's probably got some swelling around her eye, or you know, something going on here because of the chemo, and they've hidden it carefully with the coif of the hair, right? So that hair's hairsprayed in, hairsprayed. That's not moving. In the background, it does move. And people are fucking stupid is the answer to that. Because if you look closely, you can actually... I'll watch the video and I'll show you. You see little inconsistencies that I don't think AI would produce. Like, you can see a couple of flies that become visible in the light as they flit through the scene. And that happens. You know, that happens in video when you're outdoors. I notice it in my own shots. As they catch the light, they become visible and then they disappear again. You also notice that the daffodil heads at the back, which are in flower, thank you very much, because I've been walking my dog past them for the last 2 weeks. So they are in flower. Those daffodils, they do slightly nod and bob, but because they're out of focus and quite far away, what happens when you take things out of focus and stand at a distance with the camera is that you don't see the movement very clearly. Because little subtle movements like this that are very clear when you're zoomed in. Look at my hand, just subtle movements, yeah? That's very clear when you're zoomed in, yeah? If I put my hand over here, right, and make small subtle movements, you see how it's harder to see them? Like, it's the same hand making the same small subtle movements. And they're just markedly more visible when they're in focus, in sharp focus in the foreground, and when they're in the background and slightly out of focus. And the further back you go and more out of focus they go, the harder it is to see movement like that. That's all. And you do see some of it. So this is like a fucking stupid comment from someone who's fucking stupid. They're just so obsessed with the idea that this has to be a conspiracy, they'll say anything now. Anyway, Alan wants people to stop watching his content. I'm going to clip that. That's got to go on. I mean, that's one of my favourite things I've seen in ages. Why would you say that on one of your videos? Like, he must have been well eggy. If you could stop watching, that would help. I mean, he's got it. He's right. For once, Alan's correct, but I don't know why you'd say that to one of the people that's watching your videos. And like leave it out there as a message on the video. Hi, this is Alan, Armchair Detective, content creator. I'm just replying to one of the comments on my video so everyone can see it in public. And it says, if you could just stop watching, that would really help. Sorry, actually, I am going to... There's another one here. This one's from Helly. It says, if you're not a detective, maybe stop. So there are some good ones. Here's another one. Give it a rest, man. Go have a walk if it's good for your health. No one's interested in what you're saying. Why are you watching? Are you interested? From Alan. Alan's this is about 24 hours ago. Alan's tetchy in the comments. Alan's tetchy in the comments. There's quite a few of them though. Like maybe this does actually get some legitimate views. I think he gives it fake views and then it gets on the algorithm because the fake views, and then it might get picked up by idiots. And I think my sister was telling me there is a legitimate like trending, Twitter wave of this Kate content. So he's put himself in that space. There's not that many comments though. That runs out. The comments then runs out. So I think it is fake, but I think the fake brings people in, like in terms of number of views. Yeah, I think people are quite naive on TikTok as to who they're watching.
Catherine, Prince of Wales' statement saying that she has cancer. Everybody printed it straight away. 7 o'clock. Everybody printed it. The Independent also did, but they included a picture of her that they said, this is how Kate looks now.
So you're right. Like his next TikTok immediately after is just speculation. Does he not understand I don't think he understands what speculation is. I don't think he understands it properly.
And we are shocked. Within half an hour...
Oh, you heard his tummy go. Listen.
Independent also did, but they included a picture of her that they said, this is how Kate looks now. And we are shocked. Within half an hour, they removed it. I managed to catch a snap of it. But it's no longer there. You can look at the Independent and it's gone. Was this a picture they had and they weren't supposed to show us? Well, I have it. I'm going to show you. Now, they expressed it as Kate showing her natural face, and we are shocked. This is the picture that they said.
You can literally hear him rubbing the phone around his face when he's talking on it. Like that.
This is Kate showing her natural face, and we are shocked. What I say is, why print it with those words? And then clearly they were told to take it down within 30 minutes. It's not there now. It's reformatted. It's the same words. You can see the words here, look. For weeks about medical condition, conspiracy theories. Okay, so that's how I saw it, and a few people did see it, but not now. It's no longer presented like that. What's so wrong with Kate showing her natural face anyway? When was this taken?
Oh, you hear his tummy again.
And who by? And why was it pulled so quickly? That's the same newspaper. It was there 1 minute and gone the next.
Oh, you can hear his tummy going.
There it is, look.
I've got my Genshin music on, hang on. I mean, this is horrible, but you have to have it.
It was there 1 minute and gone the next.
What a disgusting grab. It seems like, yeah, exactly, Dover and Dolly's mum. Or should I do it the Allen way? Yeah, no, were asked to take it down. They were asked to take it down, obviously. I agree. That's what I thought. Like, yeah, like, obviously they put something up and then it's been changed. Like,
There it is, look.
maybe someone requested it was taken down.
Same words. The difference is they hastily rearranged the words. Why did they have to get rid of this picture? Was it out of concern about, not showing in a good light? Could it be as simple as that? I just thought...
Yeah, they literally might have had complaints from their readers who said, oh, this picture's not very nice, why have you published this? And they've thought, hey, if we're getting backlash now, if we leave it up and have problems, like, let's take that down immediately. Like, this is a problem, get it out, get it off. Like, the editor's made a mistake here, get it off. Like, they probably just did that.
Interesting. And I thought...
Like, if you ran a restaurant and people started to come and complain about the soup, you would immediately stop serving the soup, wouldn't you? Like...
I needed to show you that, so you know...
But Alan doesn't understand. You see, this is the really interesting thing about it, is he hasn't thought it through, yeah? He's put it on, he's thought, right, that's happened. The picture was there, now it's gone. That's happened. So to Alan, this is an opportunity for content then, isn't it? I can make a controversial TikTok asking questions with no answers. Not speculating, but speculating with no answers. And the truth is, if you think it through, that they probably published it. I mean, it could have been that someone asked them to take it down and it's legal. That's an option. Or it could be that they published it and they had complaints, which is, I think, probably more likely is the feedback from the people who see it initially would be from the feedback who people see it initially. They probably got some complaints. It's, not the right thing to do at this moment. The readers of The Independent, probably pro-royal in some way, have decided this is uncomfortable. Like Alan was getting complaints in his comments, and instead of arguing with the people who complain in his comments, like Alan does, what they did was they thought, no, this is inappropriate, we'll take it down. And Alan's not realised that. So instead, he's taken the thing that made people angry and caused complaints for a national newspaper, and he's published it himself on his TikTok to make people angry. He doesn't realise the result will be more people out there will be angry about it and think he's horrible. Like, what he's doing is he's making an ever decreasing circle. If you like, if you this is something I'd like to quickly show you. I don't know if I'll get it quick though. They had a racist march in London the other day, the Million March. Have you heard of it? The Million March. The Million March. Look, here's one. We want our street back. Slogan now officially downgraded to we want our street back. We want our country back, look. These are the people who turned up to the Million March, to nationalists at the cenotaph. We want our country back. Lee and Suella were right. The British nationalists. There are 150 of them. Imagine how many people came to protest a free Palestine and how many people have come out in force to show their appreciation of the far-right British nationals. It's not as many people as you think, is it? It's not as many people as you think. There's not that many people here, look. Doesn't it look pathetic? And a lot of these people are people that are videoing it and filming it. So that's like in response to the Free Gaza protests, where all these people were on the street and Alan was going on about it, and all that. In response to that, some good old British Englanders have decided to come and take our streets back from all these Palestinian sympathisers. And there's about 20 of them, and no one gives a shit, and they're shit. Yeah. So what it shows you is that in actual fact, Alan can kick up a load of stink on the internet, and some of these people can, do a lot of tweets or whatever on the old Twitter, make a bit of a stink on social media, maybe even go on a podcast. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, there's not that many people who agree with them. They don't have the backing of the public support. It's not a big grassroots movement of people that are really there, supporting it. Oh, there's a few racists in the pub who will say a few, oh, I agree with them, but they won't go out and actually do anything to support them. They're too lazy to get off their arse, aren't they? So, the real people who are actually out there fighting that cause are few and far between, and there's loads more. Like the Palestinian sympathy marches, it wasn't just Palestinian people, was it? It was just general people who thought, we need to make a stand here. So you see the difference. Like, these people are idiots, and they're in a tiny little bubble, and they've got their heads up their bum, and they're a lost group of idiots, like real small, like minority is the right word, minority of people in our society. And Alan was like all appealing to them and hyped, going on about that, yeah, about the immigrants, yeah. So what he's done is he's taken a group of people who would watch him, and he said, right, in that big group of people, there's one or two of these people, very small group, isn't it? Very small group. And if you don't agree with Alan, like same thing as what happened on my channel, people said, oh, you shouldn't touch this, it's political. You'll be 50-50, and then you'll lose half of your audience. And I thought, no, I won't. The majority of my audience will agree with me. I might lose 2 or 3. In total, I think I've had 20 people who have left my channel because they didn't like my opinion on the immigrant thing, yeah? In that I'm not scared of immigrants, and I think it's not a bad thing that we help poor people, right? So I think we don't lose that many people. In fact, I think the majority of people think like sharing is good and all this. I think the bad people are in the minority. So what actually happened with Battery Exhausted was I didn't lose a lot of people. But what Alan's going to find is he's shrunk that audience down, because you've got to like this stuff in order to agree to watch his stuff generally, because otherwise you're going to think he's just done all that horrible stuff about the immigrants. I don't really, at what point do you... So he's shrinking his audience, isn't he, into a group like this. Oh, it's so foolish. And now with this stuff, in this smaller group, if you are a royalist, and some of those people that are British nationalists are into the royal family, they like them. Maybe you don't like all this stuff. Maybe you think she deserves some peace and all that. In that smaller group, you're now going to shrink the group again, because this is divisive. Some people are really angry about the way Alan's covered it. Some people might think it's still a conspiracy. So now you're saying, I want people who are into conspiracy theories in general. I want people who are nationalists, racist nationalists. I need them to also think, like, if the Chris Watts stuff is a bonus, but these days, but into Nicole Kestner, Chris Watts, they also need to agree with me that like by making these like controversial and speculative moves, what he does is he shrinks his audience every time into a smaller and smaller niche group. And now what we've got is like 1 or 2 people who are either so dumb or so hateful or so vile that they are in agreement about most stuff with Alan. And that's a really small group. Like I said, that's like a very small, pathetic group. So that's what he's got. That's what it looks like to us, to me.
I don't see this picture anywhere else. If anyone's got any information on that particular picture, please write underneath what you know about it. I'd like to try to get a date for it, really.
On TikTok, the comments go by the side. Actually, they might be underneath, mightn't they? I'm using it on the desktop, so maybe I'm wrong.
When we were shown Catherine, Prince of Wales' statement saying that she has cancer, everybody printed it straight away.
Right, so that was that. The paper's printed a picture, and Alan doesn't know what's going on with the picture, so he wants everyone else to tell him. And the way he's worded that, he's going to continue to speculate and do his horrible videos, but he's not going to say what he thinks. From now on, it's what do you think? That's the safe space for Alan, is what do you think about this? I'm not saying anything, but you are presenting it on your stream and setting up the whole concept and then asking them what they think. So don't be stupid, Alan. You're not hiding under the rock of, or you're not hiding with the protective shield of what do you think? That was stupid. And so the next one's only got 7,000, so this wasn't nearly as popular.
Catherine, Princess of Wales, is now in the same place as a would-be mother-in-law, Diana, once
What, dead?
was. Why are those two now joined as both being the most...
Did he say hunted by the press? Because Trisha Gelder used the word hounded. Alan hounded hounded.
Why are those two now joined as both being the most photographed woman in the world? They both share that X factor, the wonderful looks, and the ability to draw thousands of pounds and many sales to any documentary, any video, any newspaper, any magazine that uses their face. And I can tell you, it's all about the money. The press don't really care about which role is this and which role is that. It's the one that makes them the money.
Oh, for the press.
What did the paparazzi chase Diana around all their lives for? To get their money shot. They would get hundreds of thousands of pounds for some of those pictures of Di. And now I'm afraid that Kate is in the same position. The person to get a proper photograph of Kate will be getting a lot of money. Well, they would have been before the cancer scare, which might make it impossible to sell. But it's
There
all
you
about
go.
the money.
So, or they would have been, except the cancer scare. Did he like have this video on the chopping block, this 9-minute video, and then the cancer thing happened? So he's thought, well, what should I do with this video? Well, I'll just like dub over some stuff about what they would have done. Like, do you know what I mean?
Before we knew about the cancer,
No, this is after. Okay, this is after. This is after.
they were beside themselves trying to get a picture of her.
Although he might now edit into something that was before, you know, like I said, like this might have been half on the chopping block before.
And we ended up not with one.
We ended
Got
up
a
not with one.
fake one where the press kicked back. And that's the story. The press
Local
are not
press
happy.
agencies have issued a kill order for the Princess of Wales's latest family photo, saying it has been manipulated.
Manipulated.
This photo of Princess Kate and her three children.
Photo. Manipulated.
Official social media
Official.
Mother's Day in the
Mother's Day.
It was the first photo of the Princess
Photo.
abdominal surgery in January.
January.
Shop has been used extensively.
Extensively.
Up. There's extra parts of these pictures
There's extra parts of these pictures
don't actually line up. These are
don't actually line up.
reputable international news agencies, including one leading newspaper,
Alan, you're just broadcasting Sky News as a TikTok.
and it's the Associated Press, Reuters, AFP.
You can't do this. This is stupid.
Kill notice.
Like, what are you doing? A 9-minute TikTok? No, like, so, okay. You can understand, right? This one, I don't know why I'm giving him tips, but this one's 2 minutes long. So it's got more chance of actually hitting any sort of algorithm. This one's 9 minutes long. It cannot. It cannot. This cannot hit the algorithm.
There's the
Hence the difference in the views, I suppose.
The problem. All the
This one worries me. This person. You're spot on. This person worries me. They're watching Alan, they think he's good.
Catherine,
What's happened
Princess of Wales,
now? Showing it
now-
me as a video.
in the same place as a would-be
Didn't know you could do that on TikTok.
Catherine,
news agencies have legitimate
sent their income. 2 members.
And then we would
of that will be
Come on, Kate, let us take the
credibility of the royal family.
The secret is all about the press wanting the power back to take the pictures and make the money. It's all about the money. Come on, Kate, let us take the pictures from now on. Regardless of the cancer and all that, it's all about power for the press. Don't forget, you've got people walking around with cameras on their phones. So they've already lost like 90% of their income to members of the public who will get a snap and sell it. Like the guy in the farm shop. He videoed it on his phone and made a fortune. Well, that used to be the paparazzi. They can't get their face in it now. So they've lost most of their money. And the only money they have.
No, the paparazzi is still the man taking the photo, Alan. The paper buys the photo, and then the newspaper makes the money from selling the papers, from publishing the photo. So they can probably make more money because the man taking the photo in the shop on his phone isn't going to get as big a rate as an agency that sells media images, or maybe they do a better discount and a good deal. I would think the man in the shop doesn't know how to negotiate with the mainstream press and doesn't know what the true value of his photo is. Generally, they offer him money, he agrees, they get the photo. Whereas the paparazzi might say, no, you're not having this photo, I want more money. I know the going rate. So I would warrant that the paper still makes the money. They make more money if they pay less for the photo. What they want is the photo. The newspaper themselves are not going out and taking the photograph. The photographers work independently and then sell or publish to the newspapers. Obviously, agencies do have their own photographers. TMZ do, The Sun do, but they also work independently and publish and then license, and then the news agencies. It's just, I can't understand how he doesn't understand how this works. His point here doesn't make sense.
Left is taking official photographs of the royals, and that's been taken off them by William, and they're not happy, and they're playing up, and they're blowing this up to it's got Korea and Russia. We can't trust the photographs from Kensington. No, because they want to be taking the pictures. That's why you saw it everywhere. That's why you heard that all the photo agencies are kicking up a stink, because they can't believe that the palace.
In actual point of contention here, it's not just the newspapers want to be taking the pictures, but the truth is that we shouldn't be relying on pictures supplied to news agencies by people who are the centre of the story necessarily, should we? Maybe there should be independent journalists verifying facts. That's okay. But this isn't like that.
Just want their control back. Kate's a moneymaker for them.
They got that picture and they published it straight away because Kate's a moneymaker for them, yes. So they made the money, and then they made more money saying the photo was doctored. For you, Kate was a moneymaker for you, Alan. You were hoping that she was going to be a moneymaker for you. All this is you doing this. You did all the TikToks talking about this stuff. You're in the same position.
They don't want her to be ill. This is a worse scenario for the press.
Alan, you're like a really shit version of The Sun because you get your stories from The Sun.
To have Kate ill means they have to leave her alone. So now, they can't win now. Even if... How can they take any official snaps?
That's like you, Alan. You can't win.
At the moment, they can't. So, the paparazzi are down the drain. The public are taking the pictures.
I mean, look at that. Alan keeps using this image. Look at it. Does he not spot that one eye's looking for you and one eye's looking away? One eye's looking for you and one eye's looking at you. Does he not spot it? Artificial intelligence, my arse.
The paparazzi haven't got official status of the official photographers, and it's all going into confusion and where the public are going, filling the void with conspiracies. Where's Kate? Well,
where's her ring again? If they did a Photoshop, it's quite common for her ring not to be the Photoshopping. The ring is in a particular place, and if you're doing hands and stuff, the ring probably gets photoshopped out quite a lot. And yeah, it might be a choice to not display ostentatious wealth in photographs sometimes. I would assume her wedding ring she would wear. What if it was sized wrong and it would fall off? I think with the jumper, people are going on about this jumper that she kept wearing. Well, she wears the jumper a lot. She likes it. And also, if she's put on weight, took off weight, I'm sure most women will attest to this. Certain items of clothing do and don't fit better at different times. And she's got she might have lost a lot of weight during the chemotherapy in the hospital, so maybe that jumper's a good choice for that particular moment, for her in lots of ways. So I think people are just losing their marbles. Someone wants me to look at the video slow motion zoomed in and all this, and I think I will at one point. We might do it on stream tonight if we've got enough time, but what I don't want to do is let's get carried away with mad conspiracies, because at the moment the video they produced to solve all this and to sort it all out, to me, looks fairly fine. And the problem with AI these days is it's difficult to see the difference between AI and video stuff these days, because it's getting quite good, the AI, yeah? But people don't know, if they look at all the videos they've been watching for the last 10 years, they would see similar, what they think are inconsistencies, because they don't know anything about video either. They don't know anything about encoding, processing. They don't know anything about, shutter speed or depth of field or anything. They just like they've watched a lot of videos and now they know that AI is fake, so anything could be fake. So people are living in this like hall of mirrors, this can't see the wood for the trees situation. And like with a bit of a step back, in the same way as I think with her illness, a bit of a calm head. It's time for a calm head on cool shoulders to prevail and everyone to stop panicking. And like if you step back and you just look at it and just take it seriously like a grown up, like I said, like, you know, I think their behaviour is all quite explainable and fits. So like, yeah, I'm not into this Kate conspiracy myself, really. I will look into it with an open mind, but at the moment I have looked into it with an open mind. Every time I've seen a comment on Twitter or whatever, what they're saying doesn't make sense. One person did a tweet saying, "Where's the microphone?" She's done this video and there's no microphone. So there you go, it's AI. And I'm like, but they make all of the telly and you don't see the microphone. Like, you can't see my microphone now, look. Where's that? Like, it's just insanity.
Truth, what isn't? Meanwhile, Kate has become the new Diana. And that doesn't end well for anyone, does it? And who knows that better than anyone? Her husband.
Right, this is ridiculous. Kate is not the new Diana. The level of fervour for Princess Diana, like her like status on the world scene, no, they don't compare. Yes, Kate is now in the same sort of shoes, you know, position, but she's seen much more in a much more calm way. She's the mother of the kids. She's much more like, you know, like Diana was very glamorous and was going out to lots of events, was doing some very like she was at Live Aid, wasn't she? Was she? I don't know, I can't remember. But she was at all these, like, she met Michael Jackson. Like, she was like big glamour. And also she was doing all those charity things, the landmines, the AIDS patients. Like, you know, she was big headlines in lots of different ways. And when she eventually separated as well, you know, massive paparazzi coverage of that, wasn't there? And news coverage, yeah. So hounded by the press, yeah. Kate, not so much. You know, Kate is not hunted by the press because she's not had a divorce from, you know, she's not, like, it's just ridiculous what he said. Right now, because of all this conspiracy nonsense, hounded by social media and fueled by the press, yeah. But not hounded by the press in this way.
He knows what the paparazzi are. He knows what they do. He knows that the lengths they go to get that snap.
Which is all the more reason that they've been very careful and very quiet about what's been going on, huh?
Trying to protect Kate from that. I understand what he's doing, but it's turned out as bad as it can turn out.
Trying to protect her from people like you, Alan.
But I want you to know, guys, it's all about the money and the press. They don't go around taking pictures of others.
Alan, for you, it's all about the money. You are effectively a very, very shit version of the gutter press.
The members of the royal family, do they? Because there's no money in it. No, Diana was clever. She issued a picture of herself in a swimsuit on Camilla's 50th birthday to get Camilla off the front page. Diana was not. She was quite clever with the press. She knew the press and she knew where they worked, and she manipulated.
You don't think that the press wanted a picture of Diana for their front page on Camilla's birthday? You think it was Diana contacted the press and said, "Oh, by the way, one notices Camilla's royal birthday is coming. I've got a saucy swimsuit shot you could use." Like, you don't think the press hounded her for a picture and she said, "Right, fuck it, like, you know, have this one," or maybe "I don't want to give you a picture," and they just used one?
Them. She let them take pictures when she felt like it. But on that fateful night in Paris, it ended up being chased by the paparazzi and ended in death. And we lost the most beautiful, wonderful human being that we had in the royal family.
You can't tell me Alan was moved to tears when Princess Diana died. You don't. Nobody knows what he was doing at the time, but I just don't believe it. Like, he's just jumping on the bandwagon. Everyone loves Diana, so does he.
I don't want to see it again with Kate. But of course, now, with the cancer, it's turned everything around. Now, we've all got to stand back and say, right, leave her alone. And I agree with this leave her alone bit. Now we know she's got cancer. We should have known.
All these words, I think they're from one of the royal books.
2 months ago. But now we know. Everyone take a step back. Don't go on about alleged affairs. Don't go on about, is this picture real? Is it not?
So now we know. So I wasn't wrong before because there was no rules before, but now we know what the rules are now, because now we know about the cancer. Now we know the rules. I'm going to delete those videos. I'm okay. I'm still a good person. In fact, no, you were bad because you were jumping to these conclusions too early and making all these weird conspiracies when the truth was actually more serious. So you hadn't thought it through and you made a mistake. It's not that now we know things have changed. It's that things were always that sensitive and you just didn't understand properly, so you treated it with this contempt.
It's all too late now. All we can do now is realise what the press are. They're a hound of scavengers, hyenas.
So again, this is another TikTok to sort of blame somebody else. It's not Alan's fault for what he did on TikTok. It's the press. It's not Alan's fault. It's Kensington Palace's fault for not releasing the picture. It was their fault for not telling the truth. It's the people in chat on TikTok for doing the poll and getting and telling him that. It's the press. It's not none of what Alan's done that's wrong. Because basically, what is it that he's saying that's so wrong? Is that she's been hounded. People have been trying to pry into her private life, effectively, haven't they? Is what he's trying to say. People trying to pry into her private life, and all he's done for 4 days, obviously a week late to the party, but all he's done for 4 days was 17 TikToks trying to speculate and pry into her private life, demanding her to come into the public. It's his damage limitation is a sort of mitigation here to say it's not my fault, it's everyone else's fault, and I'm a victim of the press myself, probably. I imagine we've still got like 2 minutes of this TikTok. I can't understand how he's done a 9-minute TikTok, but I wonder if he's going to twist it around in some way to literally play victim at the end, because it's going to be hard for the narcissist to be pointing at somebody else and saying, poor them, they're a victim, it's sad for them. And it's also sad for me as well. Like, I wonder if he's going to turn this round to like, this is how the trolls harass me. I think he's forgotten to tell the people on TikTok, this is how he got banned off YouTube.
They chase Kate down. They will follow her wherever she is to get that picture. But with the cancer, they can't. Just like when Diana died in the tunnel, they couldn't take pictures of her dead, could they? Because it's not ethical. So now they've got Kate ill, they can't take pictures of her ill because it's not.
I think the paparazzi's grift was up, not just because they couldn't take pictures of her because it was unethical that, taking pictures of her, but also because she was dead, so they couldn't take any more pictures either. Alan's like, can't take pictures of a dead corpse. Although Eddie was quite communicative, wasn't he? He said that Eddie's vinyl break said he'd seen the pictures of her, and he described it as well. Quite savage.
Ethical. I mean, they were the ones that paid the clinic staff to go into the computer.
Big ups. I'm going to pause that. Sorry, I missed Snippy's comment from earlier. We'd love it if William would make more supportive public comments. I would love it if William would make supportive public comments. It would model behaviour for other men, considering the fate women face when going through serious illness. 20% of men divorce women with a serious illness. That's a quite interesting point, actually. Like, they're going through this as a family and this and that, and she's made a public statement because everyone wants to see her. But I'm surprised that... I suppose it's very difficult, actually. Like, he's a royal, yeah, and it's the public. So coming out and sort of saying, hey, the public, fuck you with what you're doing. Shut your mouths, the public. Don't want you talking like this. Like, it's a very difficult way to... Like, I imagine in their press offices and with their PR people, they're finding this a very, very difficult situation to navigate. And I was also, when you said that, I would also echo it and say, what about the king? Making a statement on his feelings on a tragedy or a situation in the royal family happening. He could say something as well, couldn't he? And maybe with some authority, maybe he could say to the public in some way. I know it's like really weird to think, because they don't want to stir up unrest with the public and directly oppose them, because their whole setup is based on people just sort of accepting it and going along with it and not getting really angry with them being there. So but I think the king might be able to say, look, this is nonsense, this is serious, let's take it seriously, and then the king has at least said something. Yeah, that's a really good point. But I think to the other side of it, I think behind closed doors, they're started with Kate and a video. Like, what started with just a simple Mother's Day photo has spun out into this. they're probably thinking, like, anything we do makes it worse. Let's just not do anything and let's just fucking hold our horses, because I'm fucking worried that bad things are going to happen. I mean, he has been out seen, hasn't he? Out and about doing things. But, yeah, it would be nice to hear him make a statement as well. And it's weird as well, because you kind of feel like a press conference or something like that would be in order, but it's just not the way they do it. But, you know, you kind of feel like a sort of royal family, all at the seats, you know, okay, a question from you, question from you, question from you, and just, you know, do that. But for Kate, she can't do anything like that. This is another thing that annoys me, is that some people have said, why isn't he with her in the, in the video? Why aren't the kids there with her? And it's because she can't interact with them if she's on chemo, because it could compromise her immune system. If he's been out and about shaking hands with a load of people, he could literally just like give her some virus or something, and the kids go to school and mix with kids. I think it's probably very difficult, but she probably can't see them at the moment, and he's probably having to be isolated from people for her own safety. So, but yeah, he could rally support for her, yeah. Also, though, by doing that, it would also acknowledge, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but it might acknowledge the negativity. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, it is happening, the negativity, but it's like going down a level and rolling around in that gutter. Like, she didn't mention any of it. She just mentioned the positive things, the support and all that. She didn't say, and bad people have been saying stupid things. I suppose he could do the same, couldn't he? He doesn't have to get and roll around in it. But yeah. It isn't good point, Dover and Dolly's mum. The Queen was an astute person. You know, she was very sharp. She played on the world scene from a young lady. Like, when she first got on the world scene, her father died young. Like, we all knew this recently, but after she died, didn't we? We all got taught this. But her father died while she was young, and she was going to be a debutante, going to the balls and, you know, being a princess for a bit. And then instead of that, she was suddenly the Queen. But in that position, she was attractive, she was young, she was intelligent and a bit of a go-getter. She drove trucks in the war and ambulances. So she wasn't a shy, retiring person. So when she met world leaders, you know, she's going to stay as the Queen for the next, and she did, didn't she, for like a long time. But they're going to come and go, prime ministers and, you know, world leaders, like, they're going to come and go. She's going to be the Queen for a long time. So I think she was able to understand, and she was able to understand her position, her strength and her authority and her status, and use it as like political capital, I suppose, like international political capital, in loads of different ways. She was like a world player on the scene, and that whole like mindset, that whole understanding of her position as the state figurehead, you know, meeting all those people, I think that gave her, you know, from a young age, she was like in the game, so to speak. Whereas Charles has spent his whole life on the sidelines, and now he's suddenly thrown in, but, you know, it's the last 4 minutes and the scores are already pretty much done, and he's not going to make any big plays, and everyone knows that the next match his son is going to come on and really be the big quarterback star. You know, like, Charles is in this middle ground netherworld, isn't he? And I don't think he's just learned. I just don't think he's learned those skills over his life. He's become a slightly different, more docile. He's a very nice person, I think. Like, my opinion of him, I don't think he's a nonce. Even though he was friends with Jimmy Savile, I think he's just like a sort of gentle and maybe slightly. I got the impression that he was just sort of floating through life on a sort of happy cloud. You know, in lots of ways. I mean, he's had lots of tragedies, but do you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't, like, no, he's had it relatively easy, hasn't he? Right. For example, well, my only example is I've met him once, and that was, he did a walkabout in our town. He went to visit the school, and he went to visit this place and that place, and he, in the streets, we were out in the streets, and he like came out and walked around and waved, and I like shook his hand. And then I introduced him to my girlfriend, and he shook her hand. And while he was shaking hands, I said, "Oh, I went to the school that you're about to visit," because I knew his itinerary. Because like, Prince Charles is coming to the town, his itinerary is he's going to do this, this, and this, yeah. And I said, "I went to the school that you're going to visit," and he said, "Oh, I'm visiting a school, am I?" Like that. He didn't know what he was about to do. Like, he got out the car for the walkabout, and as far as he knew, what's coming next? I don't know. He knew he was going to go to the theatre later, I'm pretty sure, because he likes that. But he didn't know what he was like. They're going to just get hold of him and say, okay, sir, into here. Okay, sir, meet this person. Okay, sir, into here. And he was like, just going to go about it. He might have got the impression he was just going about his day. Like, you know, get up in the morning. Someone's got the itinerary for you. Just go with the flow, you know. So that's my personal impression of him. But yeah, sorry, we'll finish this.
And get the notes on Kate's illness because they wanted to break the news themselves. They wanted to make money out of it.
You wanted to make money.
They probably offered the nurses money to go and get the notes, in which turn they sell it to the highest bidder. This is what they're like. This is the press. You have to understand that all this conspiracy stuff...
What's that? Diana Fund endorses signed tubs of margarine. Like, what the fuck?
It's not by people on TikTok or
Oh,
people writing stuff.
It's not you, Alan. It's not you. It's the press. And what did you use to report all of your stuff from? What did you use in your TikToks? The press. Where did you get all your funny, weird ideas about them having an affair? The press. So you're a mouthpiece for the press. You're perpetuating the press. You're getting more and more views for the press. You're propping up the press. You're like, without the press, what do you have, Alan? You can't turn around and point the finger at them because you are their lackey.
It's literally the mainstream media. The mainstream media.
Alan, you put the news on your live stream to report on Kate's cancer. You played the fucking mainstream media for 20 minutes. Are you not understanding this, Alan?
They're the ones that manipulate the sheep amongst us, the people that believe...
Alan, you are the sheep, and you reported all of their nonsense. That's the whole point. That's what you do. You've never had an original idea to take to a stream in your life, and if you have, it's been a fucking disaster. From the Stolen Shadows to this, you are the sheep. You reported, and people think, oh, I'm not a sheep. I'm against the narrative. I don't believe the agenda. Oh, I see what they're doing. They're trying to do something. Oh, they're trying to, you know, and like, you're not. You're a sheep, and that's what they're feeding to you. So you think that you're understanding the world better. It's so dumb. I'm so tired of it. After all these years, you know, since Brexit and everything else that's gone on, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people telling me that they're awake and they're not a sheep, when actual fact, they've been fed their daily meal of grass and millet from the shepherd who has got them off the mainstream media and into the alternative conspiracy world. And it's still the same shepherd, you chuffer. Alan, you are the sheep, bleating away on TikTok.
That the newspapers write, anything BBC say, we believe it, we believe it, we believe it. Well, some of us don't. The paparazzi are obsessed with photographing the most popular royal, and it ended in her death. And it changed the royal family, and they rebelled against paparazzi, and they stopped them taking pictures, and they stopped giving them free money.
In fairness, it was over the top the way she was hounded, of course. No one's going to argue against that. But also, it is fair to say that her out on the town... I mean, I'm not saying that she should have a private life, you know, interfered with, but her out on the town with Dodi Fayed, the divorce from Charles, you know, that sort of stuff was like, what's the word? Like big news, I suppose, wasn't it? It was big news to people. And the royal family basically attributed her death to the press in this way, but there was a lot of other factors that led up to her being in that situation, weren't there? Like, so there's also conspiracy theories about her death. But what I'm saying is, like, it's like life's a complicated thing, and it's not simply the case that if someone takes enough pictures of you, you end up in a car crash. Like, you could also talk about the driving of the person that was driving the limo. You know, couldn't you? You could also talk about the fact they'd been drinking. Like, there's other factors, but we did put, and I agree, the press had hounded her far too much. I mean, I was quite young back then, so I didn't really have that much of an opinion on it. But now I understand, and I do agree. But I think it's naive to say, right, it was photographed to death. It was a contributing factor, of course.
So there we are. They haven't got their favourites in the press anymore. They don't like any of them. But it's all about the money, as Diana shows you here. She was the cash cow for media. Kate is now the cash cow for media.
Is she?
I mean, people moan about people on TikTok and YouTube getting paid.
Because she wasn't like the cash cow for the media until this thing happened, was she? And partly the reason that this thing happened is that the mainstream press published... Alan thought the mainstream press... He got it wrong earlier when he said the mainstream press criticised the pictures. The mainstream press published the pictures and social media criticised them. And it was the backlash from social media that has made this spiral out of control, that the press then feeds off. There's a new dynamic. Back then with Diana, there was Diana, the press, and people that buy it, yeah? And now there's Diana, the press, people that buy it and make it and do what they want, and the social media, yeah? There's like another big giant factor in this now. The press are now not just one-on-one with the people. Like there's another moving part. So it's quite complicated, and Alan has no grasp of it really. Not really. He's tried to simplify it down to Alan is on TikTok, so TikTok can't be to blame. In fact, the press are to blame. Alan should now go and delete everything like all of his TikToks have just made up of the news from the press. So like,
You think the newsrooms do? They get paid. BBC get paid by us. ITV get paid by adverts. They're doing exactly the same as the people on TikTok and the people on YouTube and the people on Facebook.
No, they have degrees in journalism. They have codes of practice. Okay, the people on the BBC, by being publicly funded, have no obligation to the advertising people. They can do what they think is in the public interest, and they should. I hope they do. The ITV, a commercial network, they want as many eyes on them as possible so they can sell advertising space. So they don't have to do what's in the public interest. They do what gets the most eyes for the most advertising space. You on TikTok, Alan, you don't have a journalism degree. You're in your own private interest, so you do whatever you can to just grift money. You're not a journalist. Are we saying that you on TikTok is the same as the BBC now? Is that what we've decided to say at the end? I thought he'd turn it onto a pity party in some way, and in some way it kind of is, isn't it? I don't know how we've done this. I did say he'd say it's like me, didn't I? I thought he'd say what happened to Diana is like what happened to him, but we've not quite done that. Instead, we've said he is the press, but we've said the press are bad all this time. All right, what it is wait. The press are bad because they've said TikTok are bad, but TikTok aren't bad because they're the same as the press. But the press are bad, so just make sure you understand that.
Media. Kate is now the cash cow for media.
She was the cash cow for you until this went down the toilet.
People moan about people on TikTok and YouTube getting paid. What do you think the newsrooms do? They get paid. BBC get paid by us. ITV get paid by adverts.
He's getting eggy.
They're doing exactly the same as the people on TikTok and the people on YouTube and the people on Facebook are doing exactly the same, right? Don't believe
YouTube and Facebook. He didn't mention Rumble, where he has his actual channel.
The hype that the mainstream media don't get paid for these stories. It's all about the money. Believe me.
It is. I can believe you on that, Alan. For you, it is all about the money. Yeah. I remember where I was when Princess Diana died as well. Yeah, it's one of those JFK things, wasn't it? Yeah. Big ups. Yeah, so that's Alan's awful TikToks. Thanks for making me watch them. I'm going to cut that and put it on YouTube. So if you've watched this on YouTube, thanks for watching it. Subscribe and all that. Subscribe. You can have a button. If you can't be good, you're naughty. And I will cut that there because I don't want to watch any more of that fucking nonsense. Fuck, man. I don't need to do that on Sundays ever again, thanks. Get rid of it.
He can't remember what interview I did. Eamon Holmes did an interview with Eamon.
Big up, Eamon Holmes. Big up.